because it's a little cap. It's not like the big cap, you know.
So that was a struggle for you to open up that bottle,
right?
You did it. Can you do it? Oh, nope, no, we cannot.
I fucked up water. Dude, I got water everywhere. I try to do okay. Because I know how to do it if you have like a pint glass and it's a glass of water. Mm-hmm. I know how to do the thing where it's like, you know how you could open your throat and then you just chug it really fast?
Yeah.
I know how to do it, and I just tried to. And
it did not seem to go very well for you.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
I do have a gallon of hot sauce, though. It's almost
okay.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back.
Welcome in here. Episode 178 of Burns and Berman. Today, we are going to be checking out the Next Gen Stats Draft IQ thing that came out.
Ooh.
I'm actually really interested in this. I want to see what they've come up with.
Also, before that, speaking of the draft.
Yes. Breaking news here.
Me and Josh are going to see each other.
Finally.
I'm going to give him – I'm just going to say, like, what's up to you, like, casually, and then I'm going to jump on top of Michael.
Fair.
That's my plan, you know? Nice haircut, yeah.
Appreciate that.
I see it, but, yeah, no, I'm going to Green Bay for draft night.
It's going to be fun.
Which should be, like, really interesting.
Yeah. And this year, and I've really been a football fan since 2014. So this would be the 11th draft that I have. There you go. There it is.
Isn't that so cool?
Yeah, it is.
You see how it's smoked?
No, I know. It is cool.
Okay.
This would be the 11th draft that I have cared about by a mile. This is the most unknown heading into the draft that I have seen. Not even close.
Except for the number 1 overall pick.
Other than the first pick. We have
Did you see his live stream yesterday?
We have no idea.
Did you see Cam Ward's live stream yesterday?
I didn't see the stream, but I saw the clip that I'm sure you're referring to about his top 5 receivers in the NFL.
Well, that's not the only thing that he said on that stream.
Oh, really? That's the one I saw.
He said that Callahan is the best coach in the NFL.
Really?
He said that Calvin Ridley is better than A.J. Brown.
I saw that. That's what I saw.
He said that Tony Pollard and Tyjae Spears are top 4 running backs in the NFL. And he also said that Treylon Burks is a top 4 receiver in the NFL.
Did he really say all that?
Yes.
That's so funny.
That's what some Tennessee Titans page posted. So, yeah, Cam Ward, he is a Tennessee Titan.
Yeah.
And I tried to look, seeing, hey, I can make some free money off of this. And he's like minus 200,000 to go number 1 overall to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Josh, do you agree with any of his statements that he said?
No.
Why not?
Because it's just false. But they actually can be the first team we talk about here because on this draft IQ. And
also, if you bet $100 on Cam Ward right now to go number 1 overall, you win 50 cents.
Nice.
How much would it be for? If you bet 10,000, you can make $50. If you bet 100,000, you can make $500.
Okay. So one of the things for betting people here, they have probability of first position drafted. They have this for every single team. You can look at, so there's a 92% chance that the Tennessee Titans will go quarterback with the first pick.
Yeah.
This is some stuff we actually can look at here, some offseason additions, because, I mean, let's be honest here. We see free agency, and then you kind of forget who goes where with the exception of the big names. You don't really, remember.
No, I know.
You don't remember that the Titans signed Kevin Zeitler.
No.
You don't remember that the Titans brought in Draymond Jones. There are just some interesting moves. They're not going to.
Even seeing the other day on TV when they were talking about, oh yeah, when you think of the Pittsburgh Steelers, you think of Pickens and DK, And I was like, DK, hold on. That just still sounds weird.
Yeah.
It still sounds weird.
That's
all I had to say. Keep going. Terrible cutoff.
No, I'm saying it's true.
Yeah.
It is definitely a thing. What's this? Why can't I zoom out? There we go. First round targets, obviously. Cam Ward, Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter. They're day 2 targets. Now, this is interesting here. They're saying potentially Matthew Golden, Ibuka, Luther Burden, Hampton, Donovan Jackson, Xavier Watts, TJ Sanders.
Yeah, Luther Burden might fall like that all the way down.
Well, it says first. Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
And then day 3, guys. They said it could go to Tennessee. Could make sense. I'm interested. Ty Felton, Maryland. Love it.
Nice. Did you see that? What's his name? Did you see that Jalen Milroe is attending the draft?
Yeah. Very interesting.
It's very interesting. It is. I don't know why he is. He's going to just be Will Levis. He's not getting drafted anywhere near there, but props to him. You know what?
Yeah.
Do your
Mike
thing.
Borgonzi spent 16 seasons with the Chiefs, most recently, obviously, under Brett Veach. The former Raiders GM Dave Ziegler has come on as well. I forgot about that. Yeah. January media interview, Borgonzi expressed that his preferred team building strategy will be draft and develop, calling draft picks the biggest form of currency.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, we can go through a lot of these teams, but let's skip around here. Let's look at the Bears, who, in terms of draft capital, they are saying ranks 6th in the NFL in draft capital this year, Burns.
Nice.
That obviously comes from having picks 39 and 41.
Yeah.
They give you a 2-star chance to trade up, a 3-star chance to trade down, 1-star quarterback need, meaning you don't need one.
Yeah.
Ours
is really interesting.
This is
running back, offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. And then tight end sitting at 17% just because of Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
Would you remember when I first brought that up on here and you were like,
yeah, I still think it's crazy.
It is, but
I acknowledge that there's a chance, but I still think that'd be insane.
Yeah. Yep. And the projected picks that we have, the 4 that I listed, those are literally the 4 players that I want.
This is your projected big board, meaning I'd assume they're just saying, like, if he's there, your number 1 guy is Mason Graham, followed then by Genty. I think that's what this means.
Yeah.
Where just saying, theoretically, these guys are there. These are the guys that would be the best fit, regardless if they're there or not. I'm assuming is what this means.
That's my exact board. That is my exact board.
Some potential day 2 names for you, Burns, to maybe remember. Ooh.
Let's see. There's Judkins. That's who I like. And I like Jadavion Henderson. He's a stud.
Interesting names there for sure. Mason Taylor's an interesting name. Day 3, Kyle Williams. I know Nico likes him a lot. Fairchild
Jr. Give me a Colorado Buffalo on my squad.
Yeah. Could be interesting.
That's decent.
Your notable offseason moves, obviously, Jonah Jackson, Joe Tooney, Drew Tolman, and Grady Jarrett. You did lose Tevin Jenkins.
Straight in the trenches. Isn't that so cool, guys? Straight
front office tendencies.
To do nothing and do nothing.
Look at this. I like this. So 17th, right around the middle in terms of trade up. You guys trade down your number 8. That's actually really interesting information. I like that.
Poles like to trade down, get more picks, especially in the later rounds.
Through his first 3 years as Bears GM, Poles has used all 3 of his first-round picks on offense and all 4 of his second-round picks on defense.
Yeah.
Interesting. Each of the Bears draft class under Ryan Poles have ranked among the top 15 in the NFL by average of next-gen stats athleticism score. So you guys like athletes? Makes sense. The 2024 Bears draft was the most productive draft class by average next-gen stats production score of the last 20 years. Really?
Wow. Hit me.
6 of your 7 non-quarterback top 65 picks are very athletic players, basically is what that means.
And who's the athlete that we're looking at?
I don't know who you're particularly talking about.
Asher Genty.
Oh, okay, yeah, he's definitely good. I don't think of him as like a super athlete. I just think of him as like really good.
He's there. He's just like he's there.
And again, well, let's move around here, but let's skip over to the Ravens, and then we'll go back over the Ravens.
What sound does a raven make, Josh?
It's like a scream, like an ah, like that. Like a crow. It's like a crow.
Do it again.
I'm not sure if I can make that sound again, to be honest with you.
That was so cool. Like I tried to
I honestly don't know if I can make that sound again. That might be a one-time thing, whether I want it to be or not.
Yeah. Did I tell you I got pranked today? Too.
You did not.
I did get pranked today. So all of a sudden, like this random car showed up to my house, and I was outside, and then I walked back inside, and two of my buddies are like, "There's people here for you," and I'm like, "Who?" They're like, "Some church group." I'm like, what the hell? Who's at my house? Somebody, I don't know who did this, who somehow knew like my address and everything. They signed me up to be visited by the Mormon church because they said that I needed to be saved. And it was just these two people standing on my front porch with the Book of Mormon. I'm like, I have no idea who did this, but yeah, that was it. I shut the door and I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's really
crazy. Funny. Okay, but it was funny. No, it was really funny.
It's hilarious.
I had to bring that up.
Ravens defensive line by a lot is interesting. O-line, corner, safety, receiver, linebacker. Okay, I can get behind that. I don't know where the tight end is coming from.
Tight end? Why not?
We have Andrews and Likely.
Yeah, I know. I'm kidding.
Speaking of which, the Mark Andrews trade rumors are back.
Yes, I did see that. I had CBS notification the other day.
It really is very simple. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kolar, for that matter, are all free agents after this season. All three of them.
Yeah.
If you are, and there are Ravens fans in the camp of Mark Andrews dropped the ball, he should not be a Raven next year. End of story. I think that is ridiculous and a terrible way of thinking about things.
Sure.
He's too good of a player to punish for one mistake, no matter how bad the mistake was.
Yeah.
If your logic is, well, Andrews and Likely are both free agents. Most likely, no pun intended, after this season, you're going to have to pick one or the other. You're going to have to.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Likely is incredibly productive. He's good. And he's doing that on a rookie deal right now with being the tight end 2.
Yeah.
I think Isaiah Likely can be a tight end 1. If you leave him alone, fine, sure. But if the Ravens do that, if the Ravens don't do that and they let Mark Andrews walk next season, you know the Ravens love their comp picks. Most likely, they're going to get a 3rd-round comp pick for Mark Andrews in the 2027 draft. So here's the question. And this is a question. Do you think there is a team out there that will be willing to give a high 3rd, 2nd, and I doubt this, but potentially 1st-round pick for Mark Andrews?
No.
If the answer to that is yes, then sure. If the answer to that is no, then there's no reason why you should trade him.
No, and nobody will give that value.
If there is, exactly. And if there's a team out there that's willing to give you more than what that comp pick would be,
sure.
I understand that logic because Isaiah Likely can be a tight end 1 if you want him to be.
Yeah, he can. He's a fucking stud, dude.
He really is. He's a monster.
Yeah.
So
it was just cool how he kind of just like, wasn't it just when Mark was just hurt and then he just came in and just went crazy?
Well, he always showed flashes. He always showed flashes. But yeah, when he stepped up 2 years ago, that was ridiculous. And then this year, as the tight end 2 all season, at no point Andrews played every single game last year. And with a Mark Andrews all season, Isaiah Likely as a tight end 2 had 42 catches for 477 yards and 6 touchdowns. As a tight end 2.
Yeah.
And then had 7 for 126 and a touchdown in the playoffs.
No, he did his thing.
Including catching that touchdown pass that Lamar threw in the divisional round that, of course, no one will remember. No one will remember that he let Lamar Jackson in the snow with his back against the wall against the Buffalo Bills on the road led a 2-minute drill, 88 yards for a touchdown. And then delivered that throw on the 2-point conversion.
Yep.
No one will remember it.
But they'll remember that Andrews dropped that ball.
And you know what they won't remember? They won't remember that Mark Andrews led all tight ends in touchdowns, even though his first touchdown was in week 6. And he ended the season with 6 straight games with a touchdown, something no Raven has ever done in franchise history. No one remembers how good of a year he had last year.
Yeah.
Goes both ways.
But that is true, dude. What Francis is saying, I think that's the only reason why tight end is even on that list is just because this class is so deep in tight ends.
Well, I mean, sure. And the Ravens are a lot of teams say it. Few teams actually live by the logic of best player available. The Ravens have more than lived up to that tendency. Mm-hmm. Theoretically, if Tyler Warren was on the board at 27,
you're taking Tyler Warren.
I could see it. But something that Daniel Jeremiah said I saw the other day, which was interesting, is since this year's draft is so up in the air and so there's no consensus. He said one of the very few consensus that he's heard around the NFL, pretty much everyone agrees that Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland are both top 10 players in the draft.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how good the two of them are. And I mean, I think that Warren is easily tight end 1 just from watching.
Loveland is good too, man.
He is good. No, Loveland is fantastic as well, but I think that Warren is clearly tight end 1, but they're both just going to be fucking insane in the league. They're both going to just
love their comp picks. 4 6-round picks.
That's crazy.
We have 11 picks. We have the most in the league. But yep, I believe all 3 of these are comp picks.
Nice.
And then this is a comp pick, and there's another one in there too.
Good job, Josh.
Ravens have drafted 27 players with a next-gen stats production score higher than their athleticism score, league high. So that means the Ravens have a tendency of drafting production over athleticism.
Hell yeah.
Interesting. That checks out. We have selected 7 wide receivers, the top 150 since 2019, most in the league in that span. Really? I mean, well, think about it. Since 2019, 19 was Hollywood. Obviously, Bate, Zay, and then how high did we draft Miles Boykin? How high did we draft? I don't know, really? Miles Boykin, I guess, would be up there. And Tez Walker last year. That's 5. Who am I blanking on? The Ravens drafted.
I don't know.
Second, third round receivers. Well, top 150s actually would go into round 4. So, but Tylen? I don't think Tylen would be. Interesting. Yeah.
Nice.
Who are our targets? Membu.
Yeah,
Warren, Mike Green. Nick Scorton on day 2.
Nice.
Shamar Turner.
That'd be a solid.
Interesting. Is it day 2? Really? Gunnar Helm I'll take Gunnar Helm on day 3 all day.
Yeah,
that's the thing about the tight end class, man. Gunnar Helm is good. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a stud. There's time, man.
Yeah.
All there is time.
Let's talk about this. How Travis Hunter isn't a top 3 DB or wide receiver. Who's better at the standalone? Yeah, I mean, I think he's the best DB and he's the best wide receiver.
Yeah, I think he's the best on both sides.
This is ridiculous, but it's true.
I can't wait to see it. He is the most excited player. I just can't wait to see him in the NFL.
And I'm excited to see how they use him.
Yes, we've had this conversation 10 times, but it's just so interesting. Yeah. Because it depends on the team and it depends just on everything. It's so weird.
Yeah. Pick a team. Pick any team. Who do you want to look at?
What's a team that we just don't know what the hell they're doing? You know what?
Miami.
Sure, that works.
2-star trade up, 1-star trade down. They have 2 stars of quarterback need. Let's look at who they brought in. They brought in James Daniels. They brought in Zach Wilson. So the question is, are the Dolphins comfortable with Zach Wilson as the only other quarterback on the roster? That's the question.
Yeah, it is a question.
Well, is he the only other quarterback on the roster? Let's see. Because I'm not sure. I kind
think
of
it's
just said that.
him
I don't
too.
know if that's true.
I'm pretty sure it's just him.
It is. Yeah, he's the only other quarterback on the roster right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too comfortable if I were them.
No. So definitely could see that get addressed.
Yeah. I don't
Offensive
see
line
it being a first round address at all, but
huge. No.
yeah,
The Dolphins are in a weird spot, man.
They are. It just feels like they're absolutely stuck.
Yep.
They have
all 10 of the Dolphins' first round picks under Chris Greer were at quarterback, receiver, the premium positions.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I mean, that is exactly what it sounds like.
Yeah. That's the exact way they play football. Flashy. That's really about it. That's Miami Dolphin football.
Yep. And I don't know what the hell they're going to do this year, man. That's why I'm interested in seeing what they're saying. They have Will Campbell, Genty. They would draft Genty, wouldn't they?
They would 100% draft Genty. They would. They like the flashiness, man.
Yeah.
It's all they fucking care about is throwing up points on offense.
Yep. All right.
That's really about it for the Miami Dolphins.
Who
the Lions. Francis is begging.
I saw Commanders first, and then we'll do Lions. But let's do Commanders first. They need pass rush, and I'll tell you that straight up. Obviously, they brought in Debo, Laramie Tunsil this offseason. They have a 5-star trade down likelihood because, oh, wow. Well, that's why. Look at their draft capital.
Wow. That's it?
31st. I believe the Vikings are the only team that they are. I'm pretty sure the Vikings are 32nd.
Oh, but they had a couple trades too.
Well, this also makes sense considering how many picks they had last year.
Yeah. That's crazy. 5 picks?
5 picks and only 3 in the top 150. Where I remember last year they had like 6 in the top 100 or something crazy, or like 5, something like that crazy in the top 100 last year.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. And then looking at next year, they don't have very much. They only have 5 picks next year right now.
Oh.
They don't have a second. They don't have a 4th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really interesting, actually. That means they need to hit on some picks.
Yeah.
And they need the guys that they picked last year who played very well for them, not just Jaden Daniels. As they're saying right here, Mike Sanders still, Brandon Coleman, those 2 guys need to take steps up next year.
Yeah.
They need to see improvement in the pass rush. They need help on that desperately. The secondary, they need help. They did get production of Sanders still as the year went on. Marshawn Lattimore is still productive, but yeah, they need to improve there.
Mm-hmm.
Peter's first draft with the Commanders, they finished 3rd most athletic draft. That makes sense. They definitely brought in some. I mean, Jaden Daniels himself, right there.
No, Jaden covers all of that himself. Damn there.
Edge, corner, receiver, safety, and O-line. I don't know about receiver. I mean, Debo is a wide receiver 2, alongside McLaurin is solid. I mean, it's
holy shit, Debo Samuel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be wild.
But yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens with that.
The Commies might be like really, really fucking good next year.
But I see a world where they're really good, and I see a world where they regress.
So do I.
And I'm not sure which. Let's do the Lions.
I could see a sophomore slump out of JD.
But not just him, the team.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Yeah.
But also, I think that if you get a slump out of him, then you get a slump out of the rest of the squad. So
yeah, agreed.
It's kind of just like that.
The Lions rank 28th in draft capital, which they have the 28th pick, so in theory makes sense.
The Lions.
Trade up, likelihood 2 stars, 3 stars on trading down, 1 star on a quarterback need, which means they don't need one. Edge, O-line, safety, defensive line, wide receiver. Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Derek Harmon, Kenneth Grant, Gray Zabel, Azaranko, and Tyler Booker. Defensive line, 50% of the whoa. There we go. Why is it being weird? It's like lagging out.
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't know why it's lagging so much. But yeah, that's definitely interesting. Okay, come on. Let's go. Why aren't you? What happened to Jack Sawyer? People realize that he's not a first round pick.
Yeah.
That really is that's just what happened. Is they realize that he's just not as good as people want him to be. He's a day 3 pick that had a really good college football playoff.
Yeah.
That really is what happened. This thing is frozen at this point. I'm literally just going to a new tab and pulling it up and switching over.
Damn, Francis, you broke the website, man. Thanks,
Okay.
dude.
There we go. Notable offseason additions. DJ Reed really is the only one. But then under losses, Zeitler and Carlton Davis. Za'Darius did nothing for you guys. Melon Fonwu's replaceable. Reeves Maven's replaceable. And then these 4 are all depth moves. Roy Lopez, Kyle Allen, obviously, is just your new backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Oh, what? There we go. All right. Front office tendencies. Second in trade-ups are the Lions.
Not shocked.
Yeah, makes sense. Under Brad Holmes' 2021, the Lions have used 10 of their 15 picks in the first 3 rounds on the defensive side of the ball. So only 5 of their picks since Brad Holmes has gotten there have been on offensive players in the first 3 rounds. That feels
so shocking just because of how much.
But let's think about who those 5 picks are. 3 of them are Penei Sewell, Jahmyr Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
Wait, no. Was St. Brown a day 2 pick? I feel like he was a day 3 pick.
Maybe.
No, he was a 4th rounder, so he doesn't even count.
Yeah. Wow.
But so 2 of those 5, though, were Sewell and Gibbs.
Yeah.
And then J-Mo's another one. Yeah.
Sewell, Gibbs, and J-Mo.
Yeah. So those picks wind up working.
Yeah.
Day 2 targets for you guys. There you go, Jack Sawyer.
That'll be
all
crazy.
Ohio State. Look at it. Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State.
The Ohio State boys becoming Michigan, man.
Interesting.
Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Also interesting is this right here. We'll get into this when the season actually starts. Is 2 new coordinators.
Yeah, that's gonna get weird up there.
In 2023, we saw what happened with the Eagles when they lost Sirianni and Jonathan Gannon. So we will see what happened with John Morton and Kelvin Shepard. I mean, I'm not going to pretend I know anything about those guys. I don't.
No, it's going to get weird, man.
So for all we know, they could be great. For all we know, they could suck. We don't know.
Yeah.
We do not know. We'll find out though once season starts.
It's going to get weird, and we'll also find out what their old offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator do with their own teams.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's go to the Jets.
I was about to say, let's look at New York here.
Yeah.
Also a first-year GM over there as well, Darren Mogi, who has a lot of experience in Denver. Rick Spielman joined that staff. Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. The Jets have selected an offensive or defensive lineman in the first round 6 consecutive drafts.
Wow.
Damn. And yet I still feel like that their O-line is not great. Their D-line's good.
Yeah.
But I feel like they still need to address the offensive line.
Yeah.
Maybe not in the first round.
They do need to. Well, I mean, go down to their targets. Go down to first-round targets.
Hunter, Graham, Campbell, Membu, Warren, Shador. I I will tell you this: do not be surprised if they take Shedeur Sanders. I don't think Justin Fields scares them out of taking a quarterback at all.
Yeah, you see what Justin was saying about having another quarterback? Dude, he does not want another quarterback.
Of course he doesn't.
Yeah,
but
not.
Listen, Justin Fields does not inspire confidence as a quarterback of the future.
Yeah.
If he did, he would still be your quarterback.
Yeah, he still would be.
And the Bears realize that he's just not that guy. The Steelers realize he's not that guy. He is at the best version of Justin Fields is the 25th best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Which is a starter, but it's not what you want.
No.
And that's why I totally agree with them having a 4-star need a quarterback, where if Shedeur is there, if they like him, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him become a Jet. There's a lot of needs there in New York. Offensive line being one of them. Again, there you go. 43% chance offensive line is the first position they address. Tight end being another. A lot of people think that Tyler Warren's a fit there. I could see it. But they lost Devontae Adams this offseason, and they have not replaced him. They have not replaced Devontae. They're wide receiver 2 right now. Who are the receivers in the Jets right now outside of Garrett Wilson? Outside of Garrett Wilson, the receivers on the Jets, the top receivers are Alan Lazard, Josh Reynolds, Malachi Corley. Is that it? Xavier Gibson? Damn. So they need to address receiver, not necessarily on day one, but if outside of Garrett Wilson, your top targets are Malachi Corley, Xavier Gibson, Alan Lazard, and Josh Reynolds. All of those are solid wide receiver 3s, but none of them are wide receiver 2s. So that's they don't have a tight end at all either. I mean, their number 1 tight end right now. Who is the number 1? Jeremy Ruckert, Stone Smart, Andrew Beck. Take your pick. So yeah, they need to address that. Let's look at the Vikings. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah. I mean, he does a lot of things in the draft. He moves up and down and all around all the time. Yeah, dead last here. This is the Vikings picks this year. Look at that. What are you doing?
Me?
Yeah.
I was plugging in my phone.
These are the Vikings picks this year.
Oh, Jesus.
This is it.
4 picks.
24, 97, 139, and 187.
Wow.
That's it. Next year, they have 3 7ths and a 5th. I assume they're going to be getting some more picks this year. 5-star trade down likelihood. 1-star trade up likelihood. I think we can all agree that makes sense.
Imagine if they did trade up.
Now, okay.
Didn't we have them trade up in one of our mock drafts?
Yeah, I think it was that every pick is a trade mock.
Yeah.
But now let's talk about Adofo-Mensah and how he thinks here. Since 2022, they've only made 4 picks on day 2. So clearly they don't prioritize 2nd and 3rd round picks, and they only have 1 of them this year.
Yeah.
So that is interesting. Too. That's really interesting.
Yeah. The Vikings just they run their franchise in a very interesting way in general.
But if you look at their team right now, they're really good.
Yeah.
The question really is, what are we going to get out of McCarthy?
Yeah, that's the only question. That's it.
Because if he's productive, people forget because of how their season ended. They were a 14-win team.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a fluky 14 wins either. They looked every bit of it. And let's combine that
every bit of it until the playoff game.
Right. But they the whole season they looked like a 14-win team. And look at who they lost. They lost Sam Darnold, obviously. Mm-hmm. Which, again, the question is, what are we going to get out of McCarthy? But outside of that, they lost Cam Bynum and Garrett Bradbury. They replaced Garrett Bradbury with Ryan Kelly. That's an upgrade, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Cam Bynum they didn't really replace. But they did bring in Jonathan Allen, Javon Hargrave, and Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah.
On defense. So I would say the secondary is still a need, and that is why, look at this, probability of pick, 25% safe, 25% corner.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, because outside of the secondary,
50% secondary.
Outside of the secondary, how much help do they really need?
None. It's just they're set.
Yeah.
If JJ doesn't work out, that's gonna be tragic for the Vikings. But if he does, they're set for a long time. They sit there and just play ball. It's really it. The window opens for them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the window's definitely open. You have a 14-3 season.
Yeah.
And unlike a team like the Lions, for example, Wes Phillips still there. Brian Flores still there.
Yeah.
So as much as Kevin O'Connell gets the credit, which he deserves, he's had the same OC ever since he's gotten there. And of course, KOC calls the plays. But having the continuity here is very important.
It is. That's how you stay a winner, man.
All right, let's see another team. Who we want to look at?
Let's go with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, let's do that. They're another interesting team for sure. And another team, the first-year GM in John Spytek. 7th in draft capital this year. They have a lot. They have 3 6th-round picks this year. 3-star trade down, 2-star trade up. They only have 2 stars. Geno Smith is their quarterback. I guess they're like Nico. I guess they like Geno. I do not. But, I mean, I don't think they're going to take one in round 1 anyway. 45% running back. Wow.
Yeah. That's where the Ashton Genty dream really dies for me.
Yeah, I am.
Which is really.
The Raiders are an interesting spot, though. And I brought this up last time, and I'm going to bring this up again. I'm going to read to you the Las Vegas Raiders wide receivers right now.
Sure.
Because I can't get over it. And I don't understand why. As much as, I mean, before I do it, let's make clear that the Raiders running back room right now is Raheem Mostert, Sincere McCormick, Zamir White.
Yeah.
So they need to address that too. But their wide receivers right now, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, Ramel Keaton, Alex Backman, Christian Wilkerson, Tyreek McAllister, Kyle Phillips, Shedrick Jackson, and Jeff Foreman.
Nice.
All of the wide receivers from the Las Vegas Raiders right now. That's it.
It's a room filled with studs right there, Josh.
Like, they need receiver back. Real bad.
Yeah. So they could go receiver, maybe. I pray they do.
But they also have pick 37. I wasn't necessarily talking about round 1. I mean, there's this. Look at this. If Luther Burden falls, sure. I don't see that happening, but sure.
Yeah.
Who do they have as
all that far?
day 3? Are they have any receivers on here? No. How about day 1? I didn't see it. Yeah, they don't have what? I don't understand that at all. They need receiver help badly.
Yeah.
We'll see. They have Chip Kelly coming in there as well, which is going to be interesting to see the offense and how that runs. But, yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely interesting.
The Raiders are in a really weird spot, and I don't know what to think about.
Water bottle is. It's all like folded from the explosion.
That was the water bottle?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude, from the explosion.
The Raiders running backs are Raheem Mostert, Sincere McCormick, and Zamir White. They need to upgrade running back too. Don't get me wrong. They definitely need to upgrade running back. And I'm not, and everything I just said, I'm not passing up Genty for any of the receivers in this year's draft.
I know, and it sucks so much.
Unless if Travis Hunter falls, which again, I would be stunned if he fell to 6.
It sucks so much.
Theoretically, Travis Hunter, yeah, I'd take him over Genty, but that's about it. By the way, the Raiders secondary, while we're at it, we talk about Travis Hunter as a corner. Darnay Holmes. Who the fuck?
What?
DeCamerion Richardson. Jacorian Bennett, who had
it sounded like the Key and Peele skit.
Yeah, I know. Jacorian Bennett, who had a terrible rookie year, but I liked him. But, man, he was not good last year. Eric Stokes, they brought him in from Green Bay. Sam Webb and MJ Devonshire. So, yeah, okay. You know what I'm getting at? The Raiders suck.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone knows they're bad. This roster is, I'm going to share my screen here. Look at the Raiders roster right now. Let's start on offense. Look at the Raiders roster right now. Even if you like Geno,
that's bad. Except for Brock
and then
Bowers.
the defense, outside of Max Crosby.
Yeah.
Jesus. Now, the good news, maybe the best special teams unit in the league with AJ Cole and Dylan.
Yay!
I mean,
Yay!
These two are very, very good.
Yeah.
But I don't think the silver lining of, well, at least you're going to get to see your punter be really good a lot this year is going to.
Do you think that Brady just gave himself a challenge? Like, hey, this team sucks.
Oh, it's a challenge, all right.
That's why he bought stake in the Raiders. Just like, yep, I'm going to challenge myself and I'm going to fix the Raiders.
Yeah. You got a first-year GM in there. Not first year, but returning head coach this year, I should say, and Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly. Yeah.
Pete Carroll's the right guy. They just got to get some help.
Yeah.
He's Pete. He can be the best coach he wants, but with this roster, they ain't winning shit.
Well, what Pete can do, and the reason why I like the hire is he can start creating a culture, and that's what they need.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had one. So. Bless you.
No, thank you.
Cincy. Someone said Cincy.
Cincy. Tell me what's
the
going
Bengals
on.
don't make trades. I don't know how the hell they are 23rd or 20th. The Bengals do not make trades.
Yeah.
They never trade players.
They sit there and they do everything in-house.
The Bengals do not trade players. They are notorious for that. Defensive line, yeah. Offseason additions, TJ Slayton and Oren Burks. Sure. What I'm showing you is the Cincinnati Bengals. They got the same roster as last year right now.
Yeah.
Does this make you a playoff team?
No.
No, not to me.
No. Damn, and Sam Hubbard retired. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So they're just fucked. And their whole entire draft should just all be defense.
But what's so crazy is that's what they've been doing.
Yeah.
The last few years.
Yeah.
They've drafted a lot of defense, and these guys have not panned out for them.
No. It's just been bad.
I mean, they've spent 2 of their last 3 first-round picks on defense. They were Miles Murphy and Dax Hill. That hasn't panned out.
No.
Interesting. Since 2014, every single one of the Bengals' first 2 rounds have been Power 5 schools. That's interesting.
Damn, they don't like the sleepers out there.
At least not in the first 2 rounds. Will Johnson, Kelvin Banks, Michael Williams, Derek Harmon, Gray Zabel, Malachi Starks, Walter Nolan. All those, makes sense.
Just all the studs.
Trenches.
Trenches. That's all you need, man. Trust me. From a guy who's been learning that this offseason, it's really nice just knowing that it's there. It helps.
I mean, the Bengals, until they learn how to run an organization properly and properly support talent, they are the perfect example of why football is a team game.
Yeah.
You got 3 studs.
Yep.
And that's about it. Let's do what we just did with the Raiders. I want you to look at the Bengals roster. Now, here's the thing. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and T. Higgins all on the same team. Automatically, worst case scenario, if you have all 3 of those, worst case scenario, you're going to win 6 games.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, if you have all 3 of those guys on your team.
Yeah.
But let's start on the offense. Obviously, you have those 3. Look at the guys around them. Chase Brown and Zach Moss in your running game. Chase Brown's solid.
Yeah. Chase Brown's solid. Joe Mixon, when he was there, he was real solid, but. And Josh is frozen.
Oh, I'm frozen?
Now he's back. Back.
Look at the defense.
Go ahead. Yeah.
defense right now. This is. Does this team scare you?
No.
Like
Logan Wilson.
Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt are two fairly big name linebackers who have been very good in the past, but they were both awful last year.
Yeah.
They were huge liabilities.
This whole unit was just fucking terrible last year.
Yeah.
The entire unit.
But and a lot of the reason why the defense was bad was their two linebackers who in the past have been productive were not last year.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
We'll see. That's how she goes, man.
What I like about our lads, though, is it tells you, look at the draft capital here. Pretty bad defense. First round pick, second round pick, third round pick, second round pick, third round pick, third round pick, second round pick, third round pick.
Yeah.
First round pick, third round pick, fourth round pick.
It's all
It's not
high
like
up,
they don't try and address it.
No, they do. It's just they haven't hit. And that also makes you think, like, hey, is it maybe above the players?
Well, that's why they got a new DC over there, and it's Al Golden, who was at Notre Dame last year. It was Notre Dame's DC last year.
Yeah, Notre Dame's defense, they kick some ass, man.
Yeah,
they did.
There's not going to be offseason hard knocks this year. No one's going to ever.
I loved that Irish team last year, man. Yeah, that offseason hard knocks was pretty cool, but I just think it flopped. That not a lot of people.
Well, no, it was great, but no team's ever going to agree to it again.
Yeah.
Never. Who's the team that we never talk about?
I feel like we never talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, no one ever talks about the Jaguars.
Yeah, nobody does.
Okay.
But I'd say me and you, that's like least talked about. Either them or like the Chargers.
5th in draft capital.
Yeah, they got a nice amount of picks.
And yeah, but it's not just nice amount. I mean, it's pick 5, pick 36, pick 70, pick 88, 107, 126, 142. I mean, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 picks in the top 150. Jesus Christ, look at them next year. Next year, they have 3 7ths, 2 6ths, and 2 4ths.
Jesus.
And they have a kid in James Gladstone as the GM. He looks like he's 12 years old. I don't know if you actually seen a picture of him.
Yeah.
He is like really, really young.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone who's ever met him is like, boy wonder.
How old is he? Look it up.
33, 34. Like he's one of the youngest. I think he's the youngest GM in NFL history.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, yeah.
How'd they scout him? Just like off of Madden Ultimate Team?
This is them. This is their GM.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's very his background.
Guy in there.
This guy graduated college and immediately joined the Rams scouting team. And in the span of 3 years, with the Rams, he joined them immediately after graduating college. 3 years later, the guy becomes the director of scouting strategy for 3 years. Then in 2022, becomes the director of scouting. And then 2 years later is the GM of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
That's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Guy knows
and McVay loves him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We will see what happens. 3-star first. Really? They think they could trade down? I could see it. I mean, they're not going to trade up. I mean, 1-star, obviously, and they're not going to move up. But it feels like everyone thinks that they're going to draft Mason Graham.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We don't really know. Think about what the Rams do. The Rams, there isn't necessarily a set thing that they love to do. They kind of just go around. They do what they address that.
They
what
do their thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jags are interesting. I've always liked. I've always had some love for Jackson.
Me too.
I've always wanted to see Trevor Lawrence. Like, imagine Trevor Lawrence having the same hype around him, like being as good as like Peyton Manning and
as good as he was supposed to be.
Yeah. But he's not playing for like a pretty big market team, even though Denver's a little bit of a smaller market. That's a big market team. Same with Indy. They built a lot of their fan base with Manny. I mean, he helped a lot with that, and they were
Yeah.
good back in the day. But in Jacksonville, Florida, one of the fan bases in the NFL that is known for just not having fans.
It's them in Arizona.
Yeah. No, them, Arizona, and the Chargers.
Chargers have a bigger fan base than people give them credit for.
Yes, they do. No, that is true. I've actually met multiple Chargers fans.
Yeah.
But it's just from the looks of it that they don't.
Yeah. The Chargers have a much bigger fan base than they get credit for.
I feel like 99% of their fans, though, are not in California.
Yes. And
That's
similar with the Rams, by the way.
And all their fans are in San Diego. They're not in LA.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Rams, dude. Oh, they should have never left St. Louis. They should have built a new stadium in St. Louis.
Well,
That's
no, I feel like the Rams belong in LA.
Sure. But there should be an NFL team in St. Louis.
Agreed.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think it should be the Rams.
Sure. I'm with it. It's just they deserve some love. Or an NBA team in St. Louis would work out perfectly too. Or Kansas City. Either one.
Yeah.
I think if that's one of the NBA's next. Well,
Kansas City needs. Well, Seattle and Vegas are the next.
Yeah, Seattle and Vegas are guaranteed. And then is that it? How many? Is that 32 teams then?
Yeah.
32. Okay. That's what I thought. Speaking of the NBA, I got my fucking Bulls playing in 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
All I said, man, is I wish I was at the United Center tonight. I really wish I was. That place is going to be fucking rocking. But just win. That's all I can say is just win. Don't make me sit here and waste my fucking time. It's the play-in tournament. This should be that we go in there with how hot the Bulls have been lately. We should be able to go in there. We smoke the Heat. We smoke the Hawks. We're in the playoffs. That's how it should be. But instead, because I know how the Bulls work, what's going to happen and this is, Josh, out of all the teams that I love and support, the Bulls are the team that I'm the most realistic about, and it will be like that forever. What's going to happen is they're going to win tonight. They're going to win convincingly over the Miami Heat. Everybody's going to be excited, including myself. They go and play Atlanta, and they get fucking smoked by Trae Young, and it won't be close. Trae Young will have the best game of his career. He won't be able to miss a shot, and the Bulls season ends, and everybody's yelling at the team, yelling at everybody. But hopefully I'm wrong. You never know, right?
We'll see.
You never know. Anything else from you, JB?
No, not really.
Justin Bieber. Yeah. We will see you guys soon. Thank you all so much for joining. We appreciate it. We love you so much forever and always. And yeah, deuces, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.